Uh, Today I am going to explain about Kotlin flow. So Kotlin flow is basically a way to represent the streams of value over the time. Streams of value over the time, and you can build it, and you can build it by using something called flow builder. Uh, so this is called the flow builder, and to receive or to collect the streams of value you need to call the collect functions on the flow, and since collect is a suspend function we need to collect it inside the coroutine. So flow dot collect, and we need to call this collect inside the coroutine. So this is basic. uh, so this is basically about the flow. Now I will tell you how flow actually works behind the scene. So suppose if you have a function called f of type the lambda function, and simply you can invoke this, and this lambda block will be executed. Okay, now suppose you are performing some operation in this lambda block and you want to pass this result to the caller. So what is the most basic way? The most basic way is we need some callback here. So what I will do here is I will pass a callback as a parameter to this lambda function, and it will also accept some argument of type any, and I can call this callback with some result. Okay, so the flow exactly work like this. It needs some this lambda, this builder, and require a callback to pass the result to the caller. So what basically they do is, instead of passing this callback, they call it flow collector here, and passing this flow collector around this lambda mm, they around this lambda they pass it by they pass it to the flow interface object, and this flow collector has only one method called emit, and this flow interface has only one suspend method, collect. So let's implement this in the code, how basically it actually works. So suppose you have a function f, and this one is a simple lambda function, and when when you perform some calculation, and when you got the result, I need to pass this result to the caller. So what I will do here is um, I will add some parameter here. We call this callback, and this parameter also receive one parameter to result of type string. Now I can call this callback, and now I can call callback and pass the result to the caller. This works, but what they do is they call this callback as a flow collector. So what I will do is I will create an interface called flow collector, and inside it has only one method of type, we call this result type string. So instead of passing this callback, it receives the flow collector as a argument. Flow collector and flow collector. Now I can call this emit method on this callback. We call the flow collector. So instead of calling this callback dot emit every time, I instead of calling this callback dot emit every time, what I can do is here is I will make the flow collector a receiver to this lambda. Flow collector a receiver to this lambda. So now I can call the emit method without using callback dot emit. I can directly call emit and then result multiple times. Okay. And to pass this flow collector uh, around this lambda, what they do is they created an interface of type flow. Interface, we call it my flow, and it has only one method called collect, and it will receive this flow collector object to pass the result to the caller. We call it as flow collector. Okay. Now to create the object of this flow, they expose a builder function. We call it function my flow, and 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 this my flow builder function also receive this lambda with flow collector and receiver. So we call it builder flow collector or receiver type unit. Now I can call this builder in the collect method using this flow collector as a receiver. Flow collector dot builder. This is the simple analogy, but flow internally Kotlin maintains some other complex things, but this is the simple way to understand how flow actually works. Now I can create the flow object using this builder function my flow, and it receive it it require one argument, so I can pass using this lambda block. Now I can collect the flow by calling this method collect, but collect require the object of type flow collector. So this is an interface and it has only one method, and it so I can create the object of type flow collector like this. But and now I will receive the result one by one here when we call the emit here. It basically call this method, but since the flow collector interface has only one method, I can convert this into functional interface. Now what I can do here is now what I can do here is functional interface has only one method, so now I can create, and this lambda block represents this emit function. So when we call emit, this lambda block will be executed, and I can simply print the result here. So that's how the flow actually works in a simple way.